Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck, and I'm going to do a tag today. So I'm going to do the Key Eff 2020 book tag. This was created by Izzy from Happy For Now, and I was tagged by Shannon Riddler. I will have both of their videos linked down below, as well as all the questions. So I'm just going to jump into this. I did film this a couple weeks ago, and then I was going to put it up, and then my job situation changed, so number one did not reply anymore. So I'm gonna redo this. So question number one is, share some good stuff that happened in 2020 and some bad stuff if you want. So mine is like a combination thing. It really has to do with my work. I would say the good thing was I was very lucky and was able to work full-time the whole time during this pandemic. I've been very lucky that way. I got to work from home, which was a new experience for me. I've never done that before, so that was weird. I wasn't used to it. I did get to go into the office 2 mornings a week, and I was there probably about 4 or 5 hours each day, but then the rest of the week I was at home by myself with a cell phone from work, and with my computer, and it was just odd. I was not used to being by myself that much. I mean, I'm not against it, but it was weird. The cats loved it. Let me just tell you, my cats loved the fact that I was at home all the time. But, so the good thing is, I would say, it was definitely my job, and that they gave us the option to work from home. Now I know what it's like to work from home, and no, it is not my favorite way to work. I did not like it because you had to look at things differently. I did learn a lot through this experience because I had to respond to things without going out and seeing it. I had to take people's word for things, which was really hard for me on how things were going, and I had to track them down by their cell phones to go, hey, what's happening? So it was a different experience. But 2 weeks ago it changed. I am now full-time back at work. Again, I sit in an office that's recessed from where other people are, so it's kind of the dungeon is what I call it. Anyway, I'm far enough away from everybody. I'm by myself, but I can talk out to other people, so my room is back and then the door's open and I can talk to other people. But I'm also close enough that I can go out into the shop and talk to other guys and that stuff. So again, I like it because I'm back at work. Yes, I'm commuting again. Yes, I'm spending money on my car again to drive, but it really it's fine that I went back. But so I would say mostly, again, it's good and bad stuff that during this whole thing, my job, I never had downtime. Like, I actually worked the whole time, and I was very lucky to be able to do that. So I would say that was my good thing. As much as it was sad to the whole not seeing my parents and my grandmother, it was, I got to see my brother lives next door, so of course we saw each other all the time. So I think overall, I think I got very lucky. I was very lucky I was in an industry that was able to keep working. So that would be my good news. So question number 2 is, what book did you love at the beginning of the year? So again, when I did my mid-year freakout tag, I was so surprised that I'd read this book during this year because it seemed like a year ago that I read this book. But I actually read it in February. And it's Empire Grasp by Tad Williams, the second book in the Last King of Ostenard series. So of course, I love Tad Williams. He's one of my favorite authors. Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn is my favorite epic fantasy series of all time. Last King of Ostenard is a second set of trilogies that happened 30 years after those. So, I just love this book. And it's just like, I forget that I read it this year. It feels like so long ago that I read this, that I took the time to finally read this because I was behind by, months after it had come out. Anyway, so I would say that this was the book. It was such a good book, and even now I'm kind of like, it's kind of a little more fuzzy than I want it to be. Like, I remember the epic endings though. I gotta tell you, he is epic at his endings of his books for these, like, everybody's in peril. They're all cliffhangers. I don't know what's gonna happen. One of my favorite characters is in serious peril and I'm worried about her. Anyway, but that was like the best book I read at the beginning of the year. And it's funny that I don't think of it as a 2020 read because it was before everything really blew up. Question number 3 is, a book that you were looking forward to but ended up not being, I'm not reading that right. A book you were looking forward to that ended up not being that great. So as much as it pains me that it's this book, but A Madness of Sunshine by Nalini Singh is that book. I was looking forward to this a lot. It is her first published contemporary thriller, and I am not a contemporary book reader. Like, I really have trouble with it. There's only certain kinds of contemporary I'm finding out that I can deal with. And yeah, thrillers that are domestic do not work for me. Like, I like the ones that are more action, thrillery, or not thrillery, that's not the word I meant. I meant action, I don't know, spy, more, I don't know, not contemporary life, I guess is what I'm going to say. It's all like more fantastical. Well, I mean, but it's not, you know, I don't know. It's, anyway, to me it seems fantastical with all the spy stuff, I guess. But I haven't read a lot of that stuff. Anyway, I don't read a lot of thrillers. So I was hoping, though, that I would go in and really enjoy this book because Nalini Singh is one of my favorite authors. And it just didn't happen. I really didn't like it. It had to do, I mean, again, it's not its fault. It's me. So a lot of people love this book. They all give it really good ratings. I'm probably the only one who didn't. But it's about a woman who has been gone from a small town in New Zealand. She's been gone for years, and she comes back after her husband has passed away, and she's trying to kind of start over, but she decides to come back to the town to kind of find out about stuff that happened with her mother before she left. And then while she's there, a body is found, and she and the police, there's one police officer who kind of is part of the area. He's like, that's his kind of district. So, because there are little towns like in there. So he and her are both, you know, looking into it. And of course there's the little love interest, that part thing too in there too. I really liked a lot of it, but I just do not like I do not like domestic thrillers, and I now know that for sure. I didn't know that at the time, but I know now that I pretty much will stay away from them. Oh, I just hit the thing. Sorry. So number 4 is a book that surprised you this year, and I would say it was The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. I just loved this book, and I was not sure what to expect from it. So I'd heard a lot of things about it. I knew it was like LBG, can't even say the word today, LGBTQ plus, you know, that kind of representation. It was fantastical in the way that there's children who have magical abilities. It has an older 48-year-old protagonist who is kind of in a slump, and he works for the department that like looks after the children. So he's going out to an orphanage that's out by the Cerulean Sea, that he's from a town that rains all the time. And so it's like this magical place to him, kind of, that it's unreal that this island exists out here. And he goes to this orphanage and meets the 6 children. Is it 6 or 5? I don't know, 5 or 6 kids. I can't remember right now. Sorry. And then the 2 adults that work there. And it's just their relationships and him doing his report. He's there for a month, and the things that happen with them and the town that's just across the water. Oh, it was so good. I just love this book. It was such a surprise. I am waiting for the paperback, of course, to come out next year. But I'm also going to listen to it on audio really soon from my library as soon as it comes in, because I want to see if I like it enough to buy that. So I love that book. That was such a surprise, and it was a wonderful book. Question number 5 is a book that you like but nobody else does or talks about enough. So this is kind of niche, but Defy or Defend by Gail Carriger is a book I love this year. This came out, I think in May, and it's the second in the Delightfully Deadly novels. And these are like 10 years after the Finishing School series, which is, I think, about the mid 1800s. It's supposed to be, you know, where they're training, the girls are trained to be spies. You know, they're like, that's their high school they train to be spies. And so this is them, you know, after they've graduated, and it's about 10 years later. And so the first book was really good. But I love this book. I'm already looking forward to my reread of this. I'm just waiting a little bit longer. But Dimity was the best friend of the character who was the main one in the Finishing School series. That is a YA series, but these are definitely not YA. I mean, they're not, I don't think they're too adult, but they're adult books. Let's just put it that way. They're more, the content's a little different. Let's put it that way. But this is a funny, because Dimity wants to get out, but she's gone on this mission to decide if a vampire hive should be taken, you know, be destroyed, or if they can save the hive and the queen and her drones. And so it's kind of, it was just so cute because she goes with her protector, who is her love interest, and they have kind of had this relationship where they've worked a lot together. They both like each other, but they've been resisting, and she's kind of gotten to the point where she doesn't want to resist anymore, and he's still trying. But he has this, they're just so cute. It's just a cute book. Anyway, so I know nobody's talking about that one because it's so niche, but I love that book. Anyway, I don't know. I'm not explaining it well enough. Question number 6 is a book that you want to come out already this year. So again, when I put this up, it's either going to be the day before or the day it comes out, but it is The Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart. I've been looking forward to this all year. Anyway, there we go. Can we see it? I can't even get this to show it. It's a gorgeous book. I can't wait till I have a physical to show you guys. Anyway, so this is an epic fantasy that is the first in the trilogy. It's like Asian inspired islands where the emperor demands a tithe from all the children, that like a piece of bone, I think it's from their skull. I'm not sure from where, but some bone, and then he uses it to make with some magic, some kind of I think they're mechanical constructs of some sort. And so there's going to be political stuff. There's going to be people from different islands and stuff. I just don't know. I've only read the first chapter, and I'm really looking forward to it. I can't show you it very well. It's a horrible. I can't wait. I cannot wait. Anyway, so that's the one I can't wait to come out. And again, it's going to be here really soon. Number 7 is, what book were you looking forward to that got pushed to 2021? So nothing I was expecting this year got pushed that I knew about. The only ones, the two that I know, well, okay, the one that I know that got pushed because of this year was not Corona or, you know, COVID-19. It wasn't that because of that. It's because he had I can't talk today. This shoulder series, and Tad Worms has delayed the next book, Navigator's Children, to next year. So I don't get it till next fall. So I'm really upset. He's finished it now and it's in the editing process, but I was going to get it this November and we're not now. So that is the one that got pushed. But again, it wasn't COVID. It wasn't really COVID related. And then that was the only one I could think of but that was pushed because of other reasons. But anyway, it was one that got pushed. So I guess I brought that one up. And then number 8 is finally what book will you think of when you think of 2020? And without a doubt, Stamped from the Beginning by Ibram X. Kendi, The Definitive History of Racial Ideas in America. So far, this is the best book I've read this year. It was so well done. So with the facts lined up, as well as showing 5 different perspectives through the years of racial ideas and how things were manipulated by the state or the government to get their ends. And every time we took 2 steps forward, it was always back like 2 or 3. And it was so hard to read, and yet it was so profound. It's definitely a book I will keep on my shelf, and I will definitely return to it to look at different areas, different time periods, especially when I'm doing my presidential read-alongs. Like I'm reading books on the presidents, that I'll go through and find that time period and read that section again for that. So anyway, again, it's a fantastic nonfiction. I highly recommend this, especially in this day and age. I think this is a book that everybody needs to read. So that is all the questions. I'm not going to tag anybody because I'm kind of late on this whole thing. But if you want to do it and you do it, let me know. And I will go and watch it, and that would be great. So anyway, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.